and welcome to the 7 o'clock news here on CNC3. I'm Charlene Ramdani. In the headlines tonight, atmosphere of excitement and revelry as the country's 50th independence celebrations get going. The U.S. president also sends his greetings. Citizens join businessmen in downtown Port of Spain to sing the country's national anthem. A trip down memory lane as we introduce you to the first baby born on August 31st, 1962. Now a grown woman, she returns to celebrate with the nation. And patriotism galore as business places and homes are decorated with the flag and tributes to TNT. And in sports tonight, W Connection went under to home team Chivas Guadalajara in Mexico last evening. Top of the news tonight, mega celebrations have been planned and are underway as this country celebrates its Golden Jubilee anniversary of independence, 50 years. Right now at Woodford Square in Port of Spain, crowds have converged on Woodford Square, which is the heart of the celebrations at this time. The crowds are awaiting the reenactment of the historic moment when this country's red, white and black flag was raised for the first time outside the Red House. Well, that reenactment, it takes place close to midnight tonight, and the Prime Minister and the President will be there to witness it. But all today, there were scenes of celebration and jubilation with cultural contingents making their way through Port of Spain. This was also accompanied by our Olympic athletes. In addition, many citizens spotted a man flying in the sky in the area just above the foreshore in Digger Mountain. We are told it's all part of the Independence Day celebrations, which will be further revealed tomorrow. And at Woodford Square, our Kamal Georges is there, and we'll link up with Kamal later on in tonight's newscast, and he'll give us a true picture of the excitement and all the vibe that's taking place down there in Woodford Square. Major performances are carded for tonight with Marshall Montano and other performers as well. As we said, that's the heart of the independence celebrations. For now, they're being kicked off. Of course, they're going to roll into tomorrow, and of course, Independence Day tomorrow. Well, that's the story that's taking us to the Your Vote question pretty early tonight. The question we're asking you to vote on is, are you happy with the 50th independence anniversary celebrations thus far? Text your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, you're texting the letter Y, and if it's no, the letter N. We'll give you an update on the voting as we go along in tonight's newscast, and we'll be sure to give you the final vote at the very end. The Downtown Owners and Merchants Association kept good on their promise for citizens to hold hands and sing the national anthem. The event took place in downtown Port of Spain today as citizens joined DOMA in a show of unity and patriotism. The DOMA president is now hoping it can be done annually. Chester Sambrano reports.
It is not every day you see scenes like this, citizens holding hands and singing this country's national anthem. It was all part of an initiative put forward by the Downtown Owners and Merchants Association to help promote national pride on the eve of the 50th anniversary of independence. Some participants lined the streets at the corner of Henry and Queen Streets in Port of Spain, while some took a bird's-eye view, even as the rain came pouring down. A number of persons making their way through the capital city took the time to stop and show respect for the national anthem. Others went along with their business. And when it was over, pride beamed from the face of DOMA President Gregory Aboud and the group.
Blessed 50th anniversary, Trinidad and Tobago!
One participant, Roma Jacobs, was pleased the event came off.
Mr. Aboud mentioned that they were going to sing, would I join? And I was happy to join. I was very happy to join.
Mr. Aboud said the singing of the national anthem promotes a sense of belonging and encouraged families to join in on the effort. He said an example has to be set for future generations and hopes this move will now become a tradition on the eve of every Independence Day.
I hope that in the future we will do just what we did today and try to stand everywhere in the country together and hold hands and sing to the heavens in support of our country.
For CNC3, I am Chester Sambrano.
The head of the British monarchy and the former head of state of this country, Queen Elizabeth II, has sent independence congratulations to President George Maxwell Richards. According to officials at the British High Commission in Port of Spain, the Queen sent the following message to the President through the High Commission today. Queen Elizabeth, who is the head of the Commonwealth, said, quote, On the occasion of your National Day, it gives me great pleasure in sending Your Excellency my warmest greetings, together with my best wishes for every success for the people of Trinidad and Tobago in the coming year. Elizabeth R. End quote. British Prime Minister David Cameron also sent a 4-paragraph letter of best wishes to the President and Prime Minister on the event of our 50th anniversary of independence. U.S. President Barack Obama has sent congratulatory independence greetings to this country as well. In a message delivered to this country, the U.S. President says this country's 50th anniversary of independence also commemorates 50 years of diplomatic relations with the United States of America. Kamal Georges has more.
A birthday card from U.S. President Barack Obama in commemoration of 2 significant milestones: 50 years of Trinidad and Tobago's independence and 50 years of close diplomatic ties between both countries. President Obama's card and letter from the White House were among 50 proclamations and citations sent to this country from governors, senators and House of Representatives from all 50 states. In his letter presented to Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar by U.S. Ambassador Beatrice Welters, President Obama says generations of Americans who trace their roots to Trinidad and Tobago have played an integral role in shaping the character of our union, flourishing in every sector of society as doctors and scientists, entrepreneurs and engineers, public servants and service members.
We convey our gratitude to the government and people of the United States, and indeed to His Excellency President Barack Obama for his gesture in sending us his personal greeting, as well as a very beautifully framed birthday card on the occasion of our 50th anniversary.
According to the U.S. President, both countries are not linked simply through the familial ties of their citizens, but are bound by the mutual respect and interests shared by both nations. President Obama expressed his country's commitment to continued partnership to improve the safety and security of all citizens in both countries. For CNC3, I'm Kamal Georges.
Canada's Governor-General David Johnston has also sent greetings to President George Maxwell Richards on the occasion of our 50th anniversary of independence. Congratulations have also come from the Secretary-General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon. Samson Anton has more.
Canada's Governor-General David Johnston says that on behalf of all Canadians, it gives him great pleasure to extend congratulations to the people of Trinidad and Tobago as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of independence. He says he's also proud to commemorate 50 years of positive diplomatic relations between the two countries, noting that during his recent state visit, he had the opportunity to experience firsthand the warm relationship that exists between Canada and Trinidad and Tobago. He says this connection is founded on long-standing economic and political ties and is nurtured by the close personal bonds that have connected our peoples for decades. He says he has every confidence that this friendship will only be strengthened in the coming years. Meanwhile, the United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has also written to President Richards saying it is his pleasure to extend to him and to the government and people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago warmest congratulations on the occasion of the national holiday. He says this is an opportunity to celebrate the proud culture and history of our country, and that it is also a chance to reflect on the role Trinidad and Tobago is playing in our interconnected world. He says he appreciates this country's engagements at the United Nations, which he says is helping to forge shared solutions to common challenges. He says he welcomes the contribution, commitment and leadership of Trinidad and Tobago in the quest to usher in a more just, peaceful and prosperous future for the entire world.
Tonight, we present you with not just another person celebrating their 50th birthday on independence, but the first baby to be born on that day. So maybe we can call her the first official Trinbagonian. We have more from Samuel McKnight.
That old Trinbagonian saying, your navel string bury here. It's a long string that tugged at the heart of Wendy Charman all the way in Canada. Her country called her home this independence to celebrate, not just with her family, but with her country. Flanked by her parents Winston and Oma Millet, an emotional Wendy, who has the distinction of being the first baby born on that historic day 50 years ago, says she feels proud and honored to share the same birth date as our nation.
It is 50 years the country is celebrating. It is half of a century. There will not be another time like this. you could only be 50 once. I feel, privileged to be, to be honored and to recognize today on that day.
Charuman has been living in Canada for the last 13 years with her husband and 2 children. Wiping away tears from her eyes, Charuman says Trinbagonians need to be proud of their achievements.
Despite all the odds that, the odds that come against Trinidad.
Admitting this will always be home, Charuman had this advice for citizens.
Work hard to build your country, because this is your country. And if you don't work hard to achieve what the goals for this country, it will not happen.
Charuman will tomorrow join with thousands of others to celebrate this country's 50th anniversary independence celebrations. To Charuman, the Nicholas triplet, and all persons who share that unique birth date, and to all Trinbagonians, happy birthday. For CNC3, I am Samuel McKnight.
Happy birthday indeed. Well, let's cross live now to Kamal Georges, who is at Woodford Square, which is the centre of all the activity taking place in downtown Port of Spain on the eve of our Independence Day celebrations. Kamal.
Hi, good evening, Charlie, and a very pleasant evening to all our viewers. I'm Kamal Georges, coming to you from outside Woodford Square here in Port of Spain, as final preparations are taking place for what is expected to be very grand multicultural extravaganza this evening in commemoration of this country's 50th anniversary of independence. Now, the real show kicks off at sometime around 7:30 this evening when the Olympians, THC's Olympians, they complete the final leg of a motorcade, which concludes here, and that will kick off the official celebrations at Woodford Square to mark this historic milestone in this country's history. Now, just to give you an idea as to exactly what's taking place, there will be a reenactment of that facility in 1962. There will be the lowering of the Union Jack and the raising of the state flag as a symbolic gesture, just to remind people exactly what took place when this country gained its independence. After that takes place, we're talking about Minister General gathering, and there will be a wide array of cultural purposes, including communication and other super arches. Now, really, we haven't seen the kind of crowds and problems that we see just yet, but people are still trickling in. But what I can say, it's really amazing to see everyone in their national colors and to be a very proud moment for most people in the show. So that's pretty much an idea as to what's taking place here at Woodford Square. It's really a warm feeling as everyone converges for what is expected to be a great show this evening. Back to you, Charlotte.
We certainly do get a sense of the atmosphere and the vibes going on there outside the Woodford Square. We see the Snow Cone Man setting up behind Kamal and the Cotton Candy Man. But we do apologize for the audio levels on Kamal's piece there coming in from outside Woodford Square. Of course, he's competing with all the noise and, of course, the lovely pan side striking up right behind him. So it wasn't such a bad interruption, but we do apologize for the sort of poor quality of the audio levels. Well, let's step away from Kamal now to Astor Wren, who's here to tell us what we can expect coming up in our sportscast a bit later on. Astor.
Well, thank you so much, Charlene. Well, coming up in our sportscast, we have, the Olympic caravan that comes to an end today. And, we have some athletes who are on campaign in Europe. We have the results of all of that. Plus, we have, coming up, we have the Independence Day race card. Two of the biggest races will be run off at Santosa Park tomorrow. And then we have the winner of the UEFA Champions League. Well, the name of the player of the year. And 3 candidates were up, and that title was up for grabs. We have the names of the candidates, and we have the winner. When I come back, I'll tell you all in this and all in our sportscast. It's back to you, Shari.
Castle certainly sounds exciting. Well, we must tell you as we go along in tonight's newscast, we're going to be playing you bits of our very new national song. It's going to replace the one that we have right now, and it's by John Thomas and the Eastern Chorale and others. So be sure to listen out. We're going to be playing you tidbits from that song as we go along in tonight's newscast. I'm sure you'll be eager to hear what our new national song sounds like as we celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence. So let me remind you of tonight's Your Vote question at this time. It's been a while since you heard it, so I'll just give you an update. It's, are you happy with the 50th independence anniversary celebrations thus far? Text your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, you're texting the letter Y, and if it's no, the letter N. We'll give you an update on the voting as we go along, and the final vote at the very end tonight. We also want your vote to determine who was the most influential person in Trinidad and Tobago over the last 50 years. Every night we unveil one of the 50 most influential personalities from the year of our independence in 1962 right up to 2012. You can vote via text to 2623. So be sure to look out for our personalities, and we'll give you the corresponding code that you can text to that number. Well, just ahead on the CNC3 News tonight, police probe 4 murders. Laventille taxi drivers stopped work for hours today to protest the murders of their colleagues. A social activist insists the 1990 insurrection was spurred on by the state's land dispute with Jamaat al-Muslimin. And later on tonight, creative decorations to display patriotism as citizens and business owners go all out and pay tribute to TNT. This is the CNC3 News at 7. Stay with us.
Smoothness that goes on with it. Satisfies it. I was never sweet to drink anything else. On a hot day and you're thirsty, you gotta get a bag over a hot day, you gotta drink a carib. Real beer is carib. I've tried the rest and it's one of the best. I always go right back to carib. When you drink it, it gives a special feeling inside. Love, pretty much. It's the best they can choose. For real. Real beer is carib.
Welcome back. We take a break from the coverage of the independence festivities to tell you what's happening elsewhere around the country. And 4 murders were recorded overnight into this morning, all within a 12-hour period. In the latest incident, a 30-year-old man was gunned down in Laventille at around 2:45 this morning. According to reports, Wanza Jones from number 19 Church Street, Laventille, was having a house party when he left his home. Guests heard loud explosions and upon checking found him lying outside the house with gunshot wounds to his upper body. He died on the scene. Jones was known to the police, and at around midnight, Akil Rosalak of Santa Rosa Heights, Arima, was walking along Slinger Francisco Boulevard in La Hocata when he was accosted by 2 armed men who demanded his cash and jewelry. He refused and a struggle ensued, resulting in him being shot. The injured man was rushed to the Arima district facility where he was pronounced dead. And in an earlier incident, 2 men were gunned down at Tobago Avenue in Enterprise. Reports are that the 2 men were seated in a parked car at Tobago Avenue at around 10 o'clock on Wednesday night when it is believed a grey B14 vehicle pulled up alongside. An occupant of that car opened fire on both men, killing them on the spot. Both men are yet to be identified. Residents of Laventille went without taxi service for 3 hours today as Laventille taxi drivers marched from the hills of Laventille to the capital city. The drivers' peace march comes in the wake of the murders of taxi drivers who were killed while plying their trade. Otto Carrington has more.
Over a period of time, 20 Laventille taxi drivers have been murdered plying their trade. An alarming statistics which has led to the Laventille Taxi Drivers Association to take a stand. 2 weeks ago, the most recent incident occurred when Charles Alexis was shot dead. On Thursday, taxi drivers stopped work for 3 hours to remember their murdered colleagues. They prayed and called for an end to the gang war in their community. President of the Taxi Association, Derek Lashley, says peace has to reign in the community.
The drivers are not in no war. We only drive people up and down Laventry Road. We are not in a war, and we'd like to leave alone to ply our trade and bring home your families in peace.
The march began at the St. Barb's basketball court to the taxi stand in Port of Spain. The peace march stopped at junctions where drivers were murdered. Another taxi driver, Emerald Brown, called for the killings to stop. He says taxi drivers who provide an essential service are now afraid to work.
We don't want no more casket. Yes? And in Jesus' name, and in TNT name, I say amen, and we shall reveal.
Member of Parliament Nylon Hippolyte was also part of the peace march. He says the time for a crime plan has come.
As an opposition member, we have been asking for the national security plan of this country, or for this country, for the past 30 months. And up to today, the Minister of National Security has not presented one to this nation.
For CNC3, I am Otto Carrington.
Social activist Clyde Nunes tells the inquiry into the 1990 attempted coup that he believes the main reason the insurrection took place was to protect the lands at Mukurapu. He said only 2 days before members of the Muslimin told him they were willing to die to save their lands. Chester Sambrano has the details.
A meeting with Jamaat al-Muslimin leader Imam Yassin Abu Bakr and other Jamaat members on July 25, 1990, left social activist Clyde Nunes convinced that the attempted coup could have been avoided. Nunes told the inquiry that at the meeting, Jamaat members were very concerned about threats from the state to destroy their mosque and other property, and they were not about to let it happen.
They would lay down their life for the protection of that threat to destroy.
He said after the meeting he felt uneasy and paid a visit to the home of Works Minister at the time, Carson Charles. Nunes asked Charles to regularize the Mukurapu lands, but his response was far from positive.
Don't take them on. The Jamaat believe that they are a state within the state, and we're ready for them.
Nunes explained that 2 days later, July 27th, at around 6 p.m., then opposition leader Patrick Manning and other members of the PNM came to his restaurant on Frederick Street to use the phone. He said Ken Valley made the call.
Speaking to someone in the Barataria area, saying that they need to get a safe house for Patrick Manning.
He said when Mr. Manning was asked what was happening, he said it was a family squabble. Nunes used the opportunity to appeal to the present government to deal with the land issue to ensure that the 1990 history would never repeat itself. For CNC3, I am Chester Sambrano.
Opposition leader Dr. Keith Rowley gave his Independence Day greetings today, wishing the country a happy 50th independence. But while doing so, the opposition called on citizens and politicians to be true symbols of unity in all they do.
Standards have fallen in all sectors, in the way we dress, the way we speak, the normal courtesies which we expect of each other, the way we write, the way we interact with one another, and worst of all, we no longer see ourselves as our brother's keeper. On this, the 50th year of our independence, I call upon my fellow parliamentarians to take the lead by enhancing the quality of debate in the parliament, focusing our attention not on maligning, demonizing, slandering, or scoring cheap political points, but rather on treating with the issues and ideas.
Well, it's time now for What You Saw, where we highlight the photos and video you send us to the email address news@cnc3.co.tt.
Tonight's What You Saw is all about Independence Day celebrations. The first picture from a viewer who says this is the cover of the actual Independence Day program from back in 1962. The next pictures come from Adiola at Answer Coatings Limited, which is part of the Answer McCall Group. Adiola says these pictures are of Answer Coatings Limited employees celebrating the country's 50th independence anniversary. Our next set of pictures comes from Kent, who says he was searching through his collection and saw this very special and sentimental memento in this first Day cover in celebration of TNT's independence in August 1962. He says it was brought by his late grandfather on August 31st, 1962, and addressed to his mother at their home in Port of Spain, where they lived at that time. Ken says the stamps highlight what was at the time the new terminal building at Piarco International Airport, the Trinidad Hilton, the Birds of Paradise, the Scarlet Ibis, and Buku Reef, Tobago. And finally, this video is from our freelance cameraman Ram Nanan of Independence Day decorations at a park in Bon Air, Aruca.
What you saw with an Independence Day flavor. And of course, you can send your video or photos to the email address news@cnc3.co.tt. Well, joining me live on set right now is Judy Raymond. She's the editor-in-chief of the Guardian newspaper, which is, of course, our sister newspaper, our sister company here at CNC3. And Judy is here. Good evening, Judy, and thank you for joining us, first of all.
Good evening.
Well, Judy's here to tell us about a special edition of the Guardian tomorrow for our 50th anniversary independence celebrations. Judy, tell us a little bit about this special paper you're putting out tomorrow.
Okay, well, let me show you what it is we are putting out tomorrow. This is going to be a free Independence Day gift to all Guardian readers. As you can see, this is it's in our original broadsheet format, which people remember so well. And it is a replica. These are the actual pages that were published on this is from August the 31st, 1962. This is the actual front page of the Guardian that was published then. And the whole of this special commemorative issue consists of pages from those days, the news, the stories, the opinions, profiles.
So it's really that piece of history from that day your own.
Exactly. It is absolutely unique, this compilation, because of course the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, as it is now, is the only surviving current daily paper that was around in 1962. So you're not going to be seeing this anywhere else at all.
And certainly, I mean, not for another 50 years, I would assume. I mean, this being such a special edition. So tell me something, how can you go about obtaining a copy of it?
As I said, this is a free Independence Day gift to all Guardian readers. So when you go out tomorrow morning to buy your Guardian newspaper, it will come. This is how it will look, because tomorrow's actual paper is going to be wrapped inside of this.
And would it be for the same price as usual?
That's right. It's a free gift, so it'll cost the regular $2 that your Daily Guardian costs.
Judy, you were telling me earlier about some of the contributors who were in the Guardian at that time. So can you just tease our viewers a little bit as to what they can look forward to in this tomorrow, not just from Independence Day, but some of the content itself, in terms of contributors and such?
As well as news, there are stories about Trinidad and Tobago as the nation was about to be born, which were written by Guardian contributors in those days. This is in the second section of the 32-page commemorative issue. There are names which are very, very familiar even today. J.D. Elder, C.L.R. James, Derek Walcott, Alfred Cadallo, the artist. So very big names of people who were writing in the Trinidad Guardian 50 years ago.
It is, I mean, we're so fortunate at the Guardian that we can be part of that, to be putting out this edition. We have that, certainly that edge. I mean, for you that must be an exciting opportunity from the position that you hold.
It was fascinating. I am the person. I got to choose what pages we are going to republish, and I included not just news, but even a page of the classified ads. I mean, if you see how much you could get a 4-bedroom house in Cascade for in 1962, or how much you would pay for a pair of pants, or a ticket for the Guardian's own Independence Day jump up.
It certainly is. I mean, it's so interesting. I can't wait to get my hands on it, actually. I hope I get one before it sells out.
It's fascinating. It's going to be very, very popular. People can spend days reading.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Judy, for coming in and chatting with us about what the Guardian is going to look like tomorrow. Can you just, if you can, just quickly hold it up again so people can see that? I mean, it's really, this is the original, so that is certainly wonderful. I mean, being put out by Judy Raymond, Editor-in-Chief at the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Well, as we leave Judy and her original Guardian there, well, a replica of the original, we're going to go across to a very original man himself, Astle Wren. He's here in studio to bring us our sportscast. Astle.
Oh, thank you so much, Charlene. Well, coming up in this evening's sports coverage, W Connection defeated in CONCACAF Champions League fixture in Mexico. London Olympic Caravan comes to an end today. Trainers and owners, well, they get ready for Neil and Massey Independence Race Day at Santa Rosa Park in Arima. Local hurdler Jehu Gordon secures podium place in Diamond League meet in Zurich. And Spain's Andres Iniesta is UEFA's Player of the Year. All next on Sport.
Chocolingo is the pioneer of the weekly tabloid newspapers in Trinidad and Tobago. He's regarded by some as the father of investigative journalism. Chocolingo founded The Bomb and The Sunday Punch in 1972 and The Mirror in 1981. His publications catered to readers in the highest offices of the land as well as the working man. Patrick was a graduate of Queen's Royal College. He began his journalism career in the 1940s and worked with the Chronicle and the Gazette before moving on to the Daily Mirror, and was one of the journalists who founded the Trinidad Express in 1967, where he served as general manager. Chocolingo was fearless in his investigative reporting and was no stranger to controversy. Yet he was a well-respected Caribbean publisher and journalist. In 2012, Patrick Chocolingo was posthumously honored by the Port of Spain City Corporation for his contribution to journalism.
50 most influential personalities since independence. We want your view via text on Facebook and online at 50tt.guardian.co.tt.
Surf, stream, share faster than ever before on Digicel's super fast 4G network. It's summer in 4G. Get your smartphone with a smart plan on the smartest network in TNT. Sign up for our newest postpaid smart plans now. Plus, for a limited time, get 1 month subscription free and 4G smartphones for $199. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Studying for a degree, MBA or MSc at the School of Accounting and Management will change your future generation. We teach over 140 different modules that will make you a game-changing success, confident, innovative, inspiring, versatile, and globally employable. Register now at the School of Accounting and Management or visit our website www.samteacher.com or see us always on the front inside cover of your TSC directory. Programs offered are exclusive to us and unmatched in this region.
Feel the rhythm with Casey Candy Sweet Pan. This selected package filled with delightful Casey candies. Experience this sweet mint sensation for generations. Our souvenir of Trinidad and Tobago. So take home a Sweet Pan today. Casey Candy, we do make every moment sweeter. Call 636-2360 to place your orders now.
Don't miss Radio Shack's great back-to-school sale. All the top-name electronic items you want at reduced prices, including the newly arrived and incredibly hot Apple iPad 3. Plus, a chance to win one of 35 back-to-school survival kits. A total of over $55,000 in prizes to be won. Radio Shack's great back-to-school sale is now on with the best prices on everything from Lexmark printers to Toshiba televisions and lots more.
On August 31st, the entire nation will pause to reflect and to rejoice on the 50 years of our nation's independence. The history, the trials and the triumphs, the rich tapestry of our culture, the celebrations of our festivals, the accomplishments of our great little nation. Come and be a part of our journey to Jubilee, an evening of reflection and celebration at the Queen's Park Oval on August 31st. This dramatic performance and show features the largest assembly of performers and artists ever to take stage and concludes with spectacular special effects and fireworks displays in celebration of our nation's 50th anniversary. Be there on August 31st at the Queen's Park Oval. Journey to Jubilee. Gates open from 5:30 p.m. Attendance is free.
Well, it was another difficult and disappointing night for W Connection in the CONCACAF Champions League when they went down to Mexican team Chivas Guadalajara. The loss comes on the heels of Connection's draw with Zulaju of Guatemala 1 month ago. From the opening whistle, Chivas Guadalajara controlled and dominated play. Though the home team had more of the ball in the first 45 minutes, they had no goals to show for their dominance. During the exchanges, Eric Torres hit the bar, but there wasn't many other opportunities as Chivas struggled to create chances. The teams went to the half with the scores locked at 0-0. After the break, though, the halftime talk seemed to have worked as Jean-Michael Williams failed to push Rafael Marquez Luco's shot far enough from danger as Marco Fabian put his team in front in the 53rd minute of the game. 7 minutes later, Fabian continued to cause W Connection defensive problems. After ripping a shot that Jean-Michael Williams could not quite handle, Carlos Fabio was on spot to bury home the rebound, 2-0 in Chivas' favor. In an incredible spell of football from Chivas, 4 minutes later, Fabian got his second when Marcos Lugo played a clever ball to Torres, who slotted to Fabian, who hit past goalkeeper Jean-Michael Williams. In stoppage time, Fabian completed his hat-trick when he was played in on goal by Luis Morales. Fabian rounded Jean-Michael Williams and easily completed victory for Chivas. The final score, Chivas 4, W Connection 0. Well, later this evening, Neil and Massey Motors Caledonia AIA, they come up against Seattle Sounders in their Champions League fixture at the Arthur Boland Stadium in Vancouver. Seattle Sounders won the first leg by 3-1. And the draw of the group stage of the Champions League was made today, and there was some interesting development from the 8 groups. The group of that is Group D, with 4 former champions in the mix.
Let's take a look at the final compositions of all the groups. Taking a look from A to D, and some highlights, of course. Most of the reaction here coming from Group D, where you have 4 champions: Real Madrid, Manchester City, Ajax, and Borussia Dortmund. We've got some newcomers as well, as we mentioned, with Montpellier and Malaga in these first 4 groups. The other teams that take part in the competition are divided into the other 4 groups, and I think we can take a look at those as well. Here's confirmation of that. And the defending champions, Chelsea FC, will have to go to the Ukraine, to Italy to take on the defending Italian champions, and also Denmark to take on the newcomers. Manchester United will go to Portugal, Turkey, and Romania.
Well, UEFA's Best Player of the Year was also named. The candidates were Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and Andres Iniesta. Both Ronaldo and Messi have won the award previously, but there were some anxious moments just before the naming of that. The winner was announced by the former French international and UEFA president, Michel Platini.
Iniesta.
Well, this country's athletes on the European circuit have been putting in some great performances as the season comes to close. Today, well, they were at the Diamond League meet in Zurich. In the women's 100 meters dash, Kellyanne Baptiste was disqualified as Shelley Fraser won in a time of 10.83 seconds, with Carmelita Jeter second and Alison Felix third. Meanwhile, TNT also had 2 third-place finishes. In the men's 400 meters hurdles, young Jehu Gordon returned a time of 48.40 seconds to come in behind Angelo Taylor of the USA and Omar Ciciesos from Cuba, who was third. Olympic champion Felix Sanchez was fourth, and in the ladies' shot put event, Cleopatra Brown, she with a 18.66 meters throw, she also landed third place behind the Olympic champion Valerie Adams, 20.81, and Michelle Carter of the USA with 19.25 meters. Well, Usain Bolt won the 200 meters, while Johan Blake led the way home as Jamaica took the first 4 top places. Blake won in a time of 9.76 seconds, and that was quick. And well, the final leg of the Olympic caravan at this time is making its way to the capital city of Port of Spain, having rolled off in Aruca, East Trinidad today. Olympic champion with the Olympic gold medalist Kishon and company and embark on their final voyage since returning from London today. While they proceed, that coincide with a grand celebration leading up to tomorrow, the day that marks our 50th anniversary of independence.
From Aruca to Tacarigua to Macoya, the streets were lined as every boy and girl, every woman and man clad in red came out to get their share. We caught up with the caravan in Tunapuna, a music truck leading the procession. This was just outside of the Tunapuna Administrative Complex. Off in the distance, our Olympians were doing the needful. Flags, pens and other memorabilia to commemorate their achievements in London, as well as our 50th anniversary of independence, to the excited crowds. Then there were the formalities, as the members of this country's government, followed by the head of the government, and the athletes as well, made their way to the main stage.
How are you feeling? Give it up for the Olympic heroes of TNT.
Olympic gold medalist Kishon Walker was as soft-spoken as ever, but he also managed to address the gathering.
Just like I say, thanks for all the love and support coming from the entire team. We are really grateful for all you have been doing. We're going to be moving on soon, so thank you.
Their stay here was not long, but it was no doubt appreciated, and soon they were off once again along the Eastern Main Road, the final destination, Woodford Square, Port of Spain. Reporting for CNC3 Sports, I am Jassi Marik.
With all systems on go for tomorrow's Independence Day 10 race card at Santa Rosa Park in Arima. The day's feature event is the Bernard Doolal White Race Independence Cup, which will be run over 1,800 meters on the turf and carries a purse of $200,000. The co-feature event is the Oak Stakes and is over 1,800 meters and is carded for the main track. The horses racing on Friday had to be looked over by the vet, and from all indications, they were given a clean bill of health. Over at the sand track, some horses were having their usual morning exercise, while the surrounding area and the grandstand, the main spectator viewing area, were also in top shape for the occasion. Trainer Glenn Mendez, who has 3 entries in the main event in Just Call Me Roger, Boogie Blues and Joselle, is optimistic about their chances.
Joselle is a nice horse. We've been trying to get a turf race for him for this entire year. And this is the first opportunity. Hopefully we will be on the turf. And he's a sort of front-running speedball. 9 furlong may just be a little bit beyond his real compass, but he's fit and well and should run well.
Apart from the quality field during the 10 race card, the jockeys will also be in the spotlight.
We have our favorite son of the soil, Emil Ramasamy, will be here. We also have the Venezuelan jockey Nestor Ramos, and Shane Ellis from Jamaica, one of the leading jockeys in Jamaica, and he always does well when he comes to Trinidad. So 3 international jockeys here to compete against our local riders such as Brian Harding, Ricky Jadu, Brian Budram Singh and Nobel Abrigo. According to Racing Secretary Robin Jaising, there will be an attraction for everyone throughout the day's activities. There's a special prize for the lady who attends races with the best decorated hat in red, white and black colors. You can win an iPad courtesy Illuminat. And we're not forgetting the kids. There's bouncy castle, face painting and pony rides for the kids.
Well, on to our sports high now, and we go back to the CONCACAF Champions League clash between Chivas Guadalajara and W Connection. Into stoppage time, and Luis Morales neatly played in Marco Fabian, leaving the midfielder to run goalkeeper Jean-Michael Williams to net his 3rd on the night. Fabian made no mistake in completing his hat-trick, and for that we salute him with tonight's CNC3 Sports High. Well, that's our lineup for this Thursday, the eve of independence. It's back to you, Shadi.
Yes, so thank you very much. Let me give you an update on your vote at this time. The question you're voting on: are you happy with the 50th independence anniversary celebrations? Thus far, 84% of our viewers have voted, and yes, they're happy with how the celebrations are going. And 16% of you, well, you're not so happy. You're perhaps a bit disappointed with the celebrations organized by the government and other agencies thus far. Well, remember, you still have a chance to get that vote in before the end of tonight's newscast. And as usual, we do encourage you to take part. Well, coming up just ahead on the CNC3 News tonight, Fly Your Flag High. We'll show you all the homes and business places adorned in the red, white and black, all the details and the pictures when we come back.
With the psalmist, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
Marshall, check this.
I stuck in traffic.
B-Mobile, TNT's #1 mobile network.
There's one in all of us. Don't drink and drive. Designate a friend so you can lime again. Be the one. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Beverage Alcohol Alliance.
Welcome to NGC.
Happy anniversary. I would like to take this opportunity to wish all my colleagues at Beachfield and the rest of the NGC family and the rest of the nation a happy 50th anniversary of independence. Happy 50th anniversary, Trinidad and Tobago. Happy 50th anniversary,
A mysterious night arrived at a dirty castle with a bottle of Sif cream. Only Sif's millions of microparticles could lift the cauldron's burnt-on dirt and go on cleaning. So the night was crowned queen. Sif cream, always a beautiful ending.
It's gonna be a great day. Got my ginseng up, hey. Let's focus, people. Come on and get it sorted. Get more out of your day. Get things done efficiently. Let's go with it. Come on and just drink it, people. Drink it up now. Drink it up now. Ginseng up now. Ginseng up now. Oh.
Enjoy the new look and send great taste today. Ginseng up, the root of all power.
On August 31st, the entire nation will pause to reflect and to rejoice on the 50 years of our nation's independence. The history, the trials and the triumphs, the rich tapestry of our culture, the celebrations of our festivals, the accomplishments of our great little nation. Come and be a part of our journey to Jubilee, an evening of reflection and celebration at the Queen's Park Oval on August 31st. This dramatic performance and show features the largest assembly of performers and artists ever to take stage and concludes with spectacular special effects and fireworks displays in celebration of our nation's 50th anniversary. Be there on August 31st at the Queen's Park Oval. Journey to Jubilee. Gates open from 5:30 p.m. Attendance is free.
Well, fireworks usually tend to have a better chance when there's no rain in the sky, right, Eric? So what's it going to be like?
Well, it's going to be pretty good, Charlene. I don't think we're going to have much in terms of rain between tonight and tomorrow at all. Very, very busy picture in the Atlantic, though. First of all, we have what is now Tropical Depression Isaac. Isaac's gone ashore in the Gulf states of the U.S. and is heading in a basically northward direction. And because it's over land, it's weakening tremendously down to tropical depression strength. Will probably weaken to a remnant low, if not overnight, by sometime tomorrow. In the meantime, though, it's still continuing to dump large amounts of rainfall up there. Clouds are slowly dissipating with a huge amount of water in them. So there's still a lot of rainfall happening up on that side. There's going to be a tremendous amount of flooding. Now, closer to home is very busy indeed. First of all, Tropical Storm Kirk has developed into Hurricane Kirk. That's moving away from us in a north-northwesterly direction, going up into the Atlantic. And then the area of disturbed weather that had a 60% chance yesterday evening had a 100% chance early this morning. And then by 10 o'clock or thereabouts, Tropical Depression number 12 was announced. And 4 hours after that, they announced it had strengthened the Tropical Storm Leslie. Leslie is, for the time being, moving westward, but the forecast indicating it's going to move in a west-northwest to northwesterly direction. We'll just brush by the outer part of the northern part of the island chain, the northern leewards, up around the St. Martin, Antigua area, all up in that area there. It's not going to go over them. It's going to pass by. They may get a little bit of effect off of it, but that system not forecast to affect our weather directly here at all. So the winds overnight into tomorrow are going to be pretty light again, 8 to 12 knots, gusting maybe as high as 18, out of a mostly easterly direction. The seas are forecast to be up to about 1.5 meters. 7 to 8 second interval between the swells, out of east to east-southeasterly direction. The Gulf of Paria seas should remain below 1 meter. Trinidad tonight's going to be mostly fair. Tonight's low will be 23 degrees. Tomorrow we're looking at a mostly sunny morning, but as it progresses with all the heat from the very hot temperatures that we forecast, by the way, today's maximum temperature was 35 degrees Celsius, very hot indeed. So that's going to produce these columns of hot air with a lot of moisture in them. We're looking at isolated showers and chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon favoring the western areas. Tobago tonight, generally fair and a low of 24, and Tobago tomorrow, mostly sunny, chance of a shower and a high of 31. Sun's going to rise at 5:56 a.m. and sets at 6:15 p.m. First high tide for Port of Spain will be at 3:35 a.m. and for Scarborough 3:22. First low tide 9:50 a.m. for Port of Spain and 9:38 for Scarborough. And that's my weather report for now. We'll have a look at the travelers forecast and we'll take a short break, and when we come back, Charlene will have some more news here.
In our liberty. Over the last 50 years, we've built a platform for progress and prosperity. We've done it through boundless faith and confidence in the future. Now, more than ever, we are ready to shine, and we dare every citizen to take on this challenge. During the next 50 years, choose your sphere and influence it. The world is waiting. Trinidad and Tobago, dare to shine, celebrating 50 years of pride in our liberty.
Hi, I'm Shaquille O'Neal, and this is my mother, Lucille O'Neal, the most important woman in my life. When I was younger, going through the name calling, Sasquatch,
Shakira,
I would come in all upset. She gives me a beautiful smile to calm me down.
The world had to get used to a young man named Shaquille.
I think it's a great name. I think it's a name that fit what I wanted to become. Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome.
My name is Shaquille O'Neal, and I am definitely comfortable in my own skin.
Newsflash, sometimes my period's not awesome, but you know what helps? Those ads that are like 60 times sportier, says the cheerleader, or 500% better, says the sexy lab technician. Yeah, when I hear all those statistics, I'm just like, wow, these maxi pad wizards really get me. I mean, come on, guys, get real.
Introducing Kotex Natural Balance. Its soft and delicate cover with natural ingredients offers you trusted protection that works naturally with your body.
Modern life can be demanding on your eyes, from outdoor to indoor, professional to sporting activities, to long hours on the computer. LensTech at Ferrera Optical gives you up to $800 off premium lenses with frames to suit your lifestyle needs. Offer ends September 15th, only at Ferrera Optical.
It's Angostura to the world. Win amazing prizes. A trip to Sri Lanka. See Manchester United live. Cruises to the Caribbean and Europe. Plus, rum for life. The ultimate man cave and more. Text the code to 4669 and win.
Welcome back. The clock is ticking down to the official 50th independence anniversary celebrations. But if you looked around Port of Spain and other areas today, you may have been tempted to think the celebrations were already underway, as business places, government agencies, and just about every space were covered with decorations to commemorate Independence Day. Cameraman Manu Ragbir and reporter Chester Sembrano travelled around the capital city to get a first-hand look at all the Independence Day decor.
National pride was the order of the day in Port of Spain on Thursday. As the CNC3 News kicked off our tour at the corner of Frederick Street, we noticed the Salvatore compound decorated with banners depicting the faces of persons who have done this country proud over the last 50 years in the areas of sport, culture, politics and literacy. A short distance away, some of the major banks played their part in motivating national pride with their creative designs. And so too, some government ministries. As expected, red, white and black were the colors of choice among the population, persons dressed in at least one of the colors. There was a level of creativity as well, like this man's tie, the outfit worn by this woman, and this man's t-shirt. The national flag man was also seen making his rounds. The motorists were not to be left out, many opting to place national flags on their windows. One of the most decorated locations was the waterfront complex, where the national flag flew proudly. These murals are also part of the anniversary celebrations. If you look at them closely, they depict a significant part of this country's history, from the day we were discovered to the day we raised our national flag, all the way up till today, 50 years later. Meters away on Wrightson Road, the fire services went all out with its decorations, much to the viewing pleasure of the public. For CNC3, I am Chester Sembrano.
We now take a short break. Stay with us.
Justin never had a lot of toys. His bike was basically all he had. He rode that bike and rode that bike and rode that bike. Now look at him, speeding all over the world, representing his country. I'm proud of my son, making local history, even making world history. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting to #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
There's no more mess and no more stress, and it's fun for the family too. You can write your name or play a game. The Swiss Spouch was made for
no stress.
you.
The all-new Swiss Ketchup Spouch is here. It's time to catch out to the Spouch today.
Smooth in, frizz out. Suave Professional's Keratin Infusion Shampoo and Conditioner is infused with keratin. It controls frizz for up to 48 hours. Salon proven to smooth as well as Kerastase Ban Oleo Relax.
It's a true collectible item. Extra, extra, read all about it. History and making.
On August 31st, get the special Independence Day issue of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper free with your copy of every Guardian newspaper, our special collector's publication commemorating 50 years of independence. Only the Guardian was there. This commemorative publication is printed in the original broadsheet size. It's free with every copy of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper. Only the Guardian was there.
The giant African snail is present in Diego Martin. If you live in the following areas, you may have this pest in your yard or surroundings: West Moorings, Goodwood Gardens, Victoria Gardens, Zeb Ben Avenue, Alice Glen, Alice Heights, Chumamunka Avenue, Jasper Avenue, Wendy Fitzwilliam Boulevard,